Happy December. Everybody doing good? All right. Well, we will do as we normally do. Yeah, everybody's looking forward to Christmas, right? At this point, got all your Christmas shopping done?
No yet.
This is the first year I have 2 teenagers to shop for, so it's just not as fun.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
No,
a little bit more money on the wish list.
Just
But-
wait, that just keeps going up.
Yeah.
It does.
So yeah, we'll just instead of typing, we're just gonna let people unmute. And if you could go on camera, I know some of you guys are great to be on camera anyway throughout the whole meeting, and some of you guys like to have the cameras off if you're joining remotely. But let's start with the online people. So I know Priscilla was one of the first ones to join. I don't know between her or Denise, but Priscilla, if you'll go first and tag somebody else to go next.
Good morning, Priscilla Schwartz with Passport by Molina Healthcare. Good to be with you all this morning, and I will tag Denise.
Good morning, this is Denise McDonald with Logan County Good Samaritan, and I'm happy to be here this morning also. And I will tag Leslie.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Leslie Whitty. I'm with the South Central Workforce Development Board. And I can only see a few participants, so let me see who I can call out. Dana. Sorry, I could only see a few faces.
That's all right. Good morning, everybody. I'm Dana Patterson with the Simpson County Literacy Center. And let's see, I'm like you. I can't see everybody. Priscilla. Did she already go?
Yeah, she already went.
Okay, I've got to get way down there. Sorry. Amy.
Did you see me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know if I should say your whole name. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Hold on, let me show my face here for a minute. Hi, I'm Amy Smith Thomas. I'm at Butler County Adult Education, and I also work at our jail teaching inmates. Thank you. And I choose, let me see who is, I can't see anybody either. Hold on.
I think it'll be Jake.
Jake. I picked Jake, like Ron said. Okay. I don't see anybody else.
Jake's disconnected now. He was
Okay.
here, I promise. All right, how about Heath? Heath has joined now.
Heath, yes, I love Heath. Heath.
Hey, good morning. I missed the question. Is there a question?
Just say your name, where you work, and the nature of your last doctor visit. Go.
Perfect. So Heath Ray at Community Action of Southern Kentucky. I work in their refugee program, and doctor visit was fine. I do have an MRI Friday. Thanks.
Oh my gosh. Either you're really quick on your feet or you're telling the truth. Okay, we'll go around the room now, starting with, let me see if I can make this thing work. It always goes the wrong way. We'll start with Miss Jessica.
Oh, you.
Yes, Jessica Calvert with the Workforce Board.
Ana San Cristoforo, New American Workforce Navigator for South Central Workforce.
Frank Garabano, the one-stop operator, the Career Center.
Laura Deglow, WKU Continuing and Professional Development.
Shannon Gotke, Career Team.
Rose. Oh, Rose, my pure intern.
Yes.
Bianca Wilson, Career Team Business Service Representative.
I don't have a microphone, so.
Oh,
You have to
sorry.
shout, just stand up and.
Nothing's for you.
All right, good morning, John Swords, President, CEO, South Central Workforce Development Board. Thank you.
All right. One of these days, we're gonna get through this like really fast. All right. So, I mean, these are a lot of regulars. But glad to see everybody. Thank you guys. I know it's a busy time of the year, busy finishing up program stuff. And obviously we wanted to just take time today to share highlights because there's so much important work that happens. I know our workforce board put together a really cool sort of annual report. Leslie worked tirelessly on it, and John and I were talking. I mean, sometimes you just have these goals and things happen and great things happen and you just move on and try to tackle the next great thing. So it's good to just take a moment to to celebrate what's been going on. But before we dive into that, this is usually where we pause and let people share just news, events, any information that maybe you haven't shared with Frank or you want to re-emphasize that's going on. Of course, if you have a Christmas open house and you've got cookies, let everybody know. So what's going on in the world of South Central Kentucky? Go ahead.
We have a Talent Tuesday scheduled in Simpson County on December the 12th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If anybody has some people needing employment.
Great. Who else?
I will share that we have holiday open house here at our One Stop on December the 20th from 10 to 2, and we make an awesome hot chocolate, so stop by. I'll be sending out a flyer.
Okay, great.
I just want to welcome Shanna Myers from Audubon, who is a new partner agency in the Kentucky Career Center. She'll be with us probably 4 to 5 days per week in the building.
Nice. Okay.
Hey, Brian, is this where talk about community partnership?
Yeah, let me get to that real quick. There we go.
Yay, perfect. So community partnership for community and refugee immigrants families. We used to meet quarterly before COVID. And I know Priscilla used to join us, but really this is open to anyone in the community that serves our diverse population. And they, we would just get together, and it's just a really wonderful networking opportunity because we know that a lot of the families that we serve, they just have diverse needs as well. And even though we may focus on one particular aspect, we could find another partner in the room that that might help with the rest of it or whatever. So during COVID, like we went virtual, and then you know what, we just kind of stopped altogether. But I say we're having a reunion special service provider homecoming coming up in January, and it'll be towards the end of January. But as we solidify those details, if any of you are interested in joining us or participating, please let me know. But I'm going to go ahead and drop our Facebook page in the chat, because when we do have that announcement ready to go, we're going to roll it out there. So if that's of any interest to you, just stay tuned.
Yep. All right, fantastic. Anyone else?
Well, I'm gonna brag on Shannon a little bit. This is Amy. She was here Tuesday. She now comes to Butler County on the first Tuesday of every month. We were loaded down with students on Tuesday, and she could probably shake her head or nod her head in the conference room right now, but it was a great day. We helped so many people. We had, I'm not going to mention names, we had one homeless man that I think that we're starting to get him back on track. It was just a really great day of helping people, and it was busy, but busy is good to me and Shannon. So thank you, Shannon, for all you do.
Thank you.
Awesome. Let's see, I'm going to go back if I can get my. So we had kind of in that vein, we have a new offering that's been happening. So we were able to hire some positions back earlier in the summer that we're calling Putting Kentuckians First Navigators. So all the adult ed programs are very familiar with this because it's actually funded by adult ed, but the folks work through a local workforce board. So we have one person, Michael Updegraff. So if you don't know that name, he could be reaching out soon, but we've been trying to do wraparound coordination of support. So just this kind of world that we live in, that we know it works really well and we can talk to each other and we know each other. In so many communities, that's not necessarily the case. So we've been trying to set up a model that puts everybody on the same sheet of music. And one of the things that's always sort of happened, like when a company shuts down, many of you guys have come out in your local communities and been on site at that employer. Bianca and Jake have been coordinating a ton of those type of activities, unfortunately, right, this year. Because of company closures, but we bring resources to those affected employees. Well, this is the same concept. It's just open to the public, and not because of any tragedy necessarily, but because we're trying to say, hey, come to one spot, very similar to what Shannon does. And in fact, Shannon's a part of it. And so you can see the list of some of those programs on the right there that are coming, but this is happening every month. And the idea is to turn this on county by county, and every month it's consistent. So these partners know, especially when to come. but it's also just name recognition out there in the community. So you can see that we actually have one coming up each Barron and Hart County here soon, and the times are listed. But these things and more are on our Workforce Board website under the events link, and then there's a calendar there. So if you ever have any questions, you can go to that for the source. So
And Brian,
anybody?
there is one Friday in Barron County.
Yes, okay, so this is the second Friday of the month, this Friday for those of you keeping up. And then the second Monday of the month in Hart County will be, anybody? Monday. So we have Friday and Monday this month for these two counties where it's turned on. So, all right, nobody's awake. I'm the one that got 4 hours of sleep last night, so why am I the only one looking awake? So I want to let you guys know about that. Another big thing, we're going to have a huge show and tell, AKA board meeting, next Thursday, that we're in the works to prepare for. And like I said, we have a wonderful report that will accompany that. But this is one that'll be in person. So we always have them in person and virtual, just like we have this meeting, but we're really stressing everybody come in person. It'll be in Bowling Green at the WKU Innovation Campus, which is most people affectionately call the old mall. But if you can come, let us know. We will have some light breakfast refreshments. So we want to have a right count of who to expect for that. So, and then again, we will have a report. I think, Leslie, did I see that you dropped it in the chat?
No, I dropped the link to the Talent Tuesday.
Oh, okay, okay. So we'll have this, I'm sure, on our website, and we'll have physical copies we've just ordered. So we will have that to share, but it highlights a lot of the work of just our system and our partners, but specifically our organization and the things that we've tackled. So we're really proud to showcase that. We do have a position that we're hiring for. So I want to say thanks to many of you, because when Leslie posted this last week, many of you shared that, and that's huge. Those things always help, just like they do for the events. So this will be a coordinator role position. So working with businesses to try to get refugees who, there's a qualification. Heath is very familiar with this. It's the same world that he lives in, but the newest refugees that have come to town. And so those that have been here for less than 5 years, if they're working, the idea is to work with a company that employs several of them, and to get a training program that can upskill them and give them better opportunities, and to show companies how to do this. So it's a support to the participants who already are employees. And it's a big instrumental support to the companies to figure out a lot of the logistics and to assist them in turning these things on. So we have more details on the Facebook page, again, from the post last week. But this will be not quite a 3-year position. As you can see, it's funded through the end of September of 2026. So a lot of our grant funded programs, unfortunately, are kind of a year-to-year thing, or we don't always know if it's going to continue. This one we have for several. So help us get the word out about that.
32 hours a week.
And then, John, yes, what can you say about that?
Yeah, it's flexible hours, right?
Yeah.
It's meant to be a 32-hour a week position with full-time benefits. So it's in that last sentence of the second paragraph at the bottom of that. Just want to draw that out. So 4-day work week to start. That's how we think it'll go.
Yep. So part-time with some teeth to it, to the person by offering the benefits there. So. But yeah, you can apply to Doronda's email. We are trying to get applications in by the 20th. As always, if you're not connected, or somebody on your team that you work with is not connected to getting Frank's emails and getting the invites for these meetings, please go. This is an old looking thing now, Leslie. I got to refresh it. I just realized. But there should be a thing on our website that says community partners, and then you would click to get in. So anything else before we jump into the success stories? Try to go fast through this so we have more time to share. Okay. I'm actually going to let Heath go first on this part, because these are a reflection of some of the stories that are going to be in our annual report. But Heath, tell the group how WIOA, how Career Team helped in your program this year.
Yeah, awesome. Well, and I'll tell you, you mentioned the unique qualifications earlier in regards to that position. So, wait, now, so see, it says CASA, which is really Kasoki.
Oh, it does. Oh, crap. Yeah, that's probably just misspelled for this. Sorry.
That always happens, by the way, not you, just in general in the community. But anyway, so the unique qualifications for our program are that people have been in the U.S. for less than 5 years and they have a specific refugee status. And so that is just, it complicates things. And Joda knows what I'm talking about. It keeps things complicated. The community doesn't really understand why we have such strict regulations like that. But when the opportunity presented itself for some work experience volunteers, we jumped on it because we weren't necessarily paying their salary. They didn't follow the same requirements that we had to follow. And so finally, when people were coming in asking for help with employment applications or whatever, through the work experience program, we were able to get 2 individuals that came in and were able to assist those folks to allow me to focus on those that were here, that met the qualifications for my specific program. And so that just felt a lot better, being able, not having to turn anyone away or and just being able to meet their needs. But at the same time, the 2 folks that were working with me, they had never done anything like this before. That was quite apparent during their interview. They were wide open to learning and picking up these experiences, but again, kind of a blank slate. So through this process, they too benefited by getting exposure to, case notes and just service, customer service, and getting exposure to the workforce and employers and case management, just a whole lot. And I wish that at the end of their term that I had funding to pay for them to bring them on full time, and I didn't. And even later, it's kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing. I did have money for a position, but I reached out to them and they had already spread their wings and flown on to bigger and better things. So it was just a win-win for everybody involved. So I was very grateful to have them, and of course the clients that we served were grateful they were here as well.
Fantastic. Yes, it's awesome. Look at that commanding pose you have there from the job.
I know, I was gonna say, Heath is representing.
I can pull one of those out occasionally.
I mean, you look 7 foot tall there.
Now, no one's ever said that, but.
All right, so I'm actually not sure if we have anyone in attendance that can speak to the Marjorie and Chris stories. I know Leslie is familiar with them because of the highlight in but anybody from career team, Bianca or Shannon, are you guys familiar with Chris or Marjorie?
Chris, I for sure knew that he has been doing our work experience program. He was homeless at one point, so didn't have transportation. Now he's doing our WIX experience, also has a second job and has gained transportation. His worksite supervisor was very impressed with Chris. He says that Chris is always on time and he's just been thriving while being there with them.
Awesome.
And Brian, I've got Marjorie's if you want me to just read it real
Yeah, I
quick.
was gonna say, I know Jessica knows it too, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh, well, if Jessica knows it, go ahead.
I don't know it in real good.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's probably better if she does.
Okay. Go ahead, Leslie.
Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna read the write-up. Marjorie successfully wrapped up a work experience with Sky Dentistry thanks to grant funding. Back in 2020, she initially sought a work experience, but had to put it on hold due to personal challenges as a single mother. Fast forward to August this year, Marjorie returned, determined and with a stronger support system in place. Now on the brink of graduating with her medical information technology degree from Sky CTC in December 2023. She's already landed a healthcare job earning $18 per hour. Marjorie's a great example of how sometimes things don't work out when we want them to, but to never give up as perseverance pays off.
Yes, well said. Okay, and again, we're I should have said this to begin with. We're going through the stories that were submitted. So I know Frank had sent an email out saying, hey, if you have stories, submit those. We are going to open it up for anybody that wants to share as time allows to 5 minutes or less to share a highlight if you have one that you're prepared to do. And Amy was one of the ones that submitted one. So Amy, why don't you tell us about Isabella?
Okay. Isabella is of course precious to me. She started out, she came to me a little timid and things, about taking GED tests, coming to class and things like that. But we kind of built a relationship together, and that's what you have to do. Once you build a relationship and earn that trust, a lot of good things can happen. And so she did start coming and taking classes with me. She did obtain her GED. And then I asked her, and I'll never forget this, and I put that in my success write-up. Basically, I said, what do you want to do? You know, now that you have your GED, what do you want to do? And she said, I want to help people. She says, because helping people makes me happy. And and that just right there, of course, I'm a little softy when it comes to her. And I said, well, you know what? You're going to do just that. We're going to find something for you. Well, a couple of weeks went by. And of course, my superintendent and I are really, he supports my program a lot, and Heath knows Mr. Tuck. He's a great superintendent. He supports my program. He's always at every event I have. And so I told him about Isabella, and I said, she knows 3 different languages. She knows Spanish, Chew, and English. And I did not want her to fall in the cracks and us lose her to somebody else. We need to keep her here because she has kids in our school system. And Mr. Tuck highly agreed. And he said, I will keep my eyes open and I'll let you know if we have any openings coming up. And I said, okay. Well, our Boys and Girls Club here in Butler County had an opening, and I got in touch. I'm partners with them as well. And I got in touch with Amanda, who's a great director. And it was within maybe a week, she wanted to interview Isabella, and Isabella got the job for Boys and Girls Club in the afternoons. And it just so happened, and I call this a God wink, that the school that she was chosen to go work at for Boys and Girls Club was this exact same school that her kids go to. So her kids could also participate in the Boys and Girls program with her, and she didn't have to find a babysitter or anything like that. So that was the first God wink. And then she said, I would love to, you know, because that was only for a 3 to 4 hour job in the afternoons after school. So, you know, I kept probably pestering, as Mr. Tuck pestering him. But no, he told me finally that there was an opening for a paraeducator or a teacher's aide in the ESL department. And I said, oh, you know who I think would be great? He said, yeah, tell her to apply for the job. And she got it. So now now she's a teacher's aide at MES, where her kids go, and after school program where her kids go as well. So it just makes me happy to see her so happy, and she enjoys what she does. So that's it. That's my Isabella story. Thank you.
Oh, that's a great one.
Great job, Amy. It's good to be in Amy's network if you didn't already realize from that story.
It's a happy network.
That's awesome. All right, now we got to try to figure out how to top that. So now we had some other ones, and I think Shannon knows a little bit more about this one.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, Shannon, thank you. Okay.
Yeah. So I met this gentleman at in Butler County. He was I don't know if you call it a graduate of KCR, Kentucky Christian Recovery. He had gone through their program and had graduated to the sober living house. In order to stay there, he needed to get a job. His background is in manufacturing, and well, in order to get the job, he had a couple of barriers. The first being boots, pictured there in the middle. He couldn't get the job. He couldn't even interview without boots. And he did not have the resources to get the boots because he didn't have a job. So he borrowed the boots of his caseworker's daughter. He borrowed her boots. And needless to say, that was not a perfect fit. So he interviewed in her boots. He got the job. And then he had a few days before he started, and he did not know where he was going to get those. And he had been, you know, to some of the places there in Butler County that they can normally help with that, but they were out of resources. So after a program that I did there, I was speaking with him and let him know that supportive services through WIOA could help him with things like that. So he was excited, and he had a start date. So he needed those boots, and he knew when he needed those boots. So we were able to get all his paperwork done. And then I got the privilege of going to Butler County and taking him to get those boots. And it was, my kids are old, so I have not taken them shopping in a long time. And though he's not in no way childlike, he was so excited. And he had been to the store without me 3 times already. He knew exactly, we walked in the door, he walked to this pile of boxes, he reached in the middle because he had been in there, he picked those out, he tried those on, and then he hid them away so that they would be there when he got there.
Wow.
So he was very, very excited to get those boots. And so excited, in fact, that he asked me to come back when he gets his next paycheck so he could buy me something. But then his secondary barrier was transportation, and they do have transportation for them, but they charge for it. And so he was doubly excited to find out that supportive services could also help him with that cost, until he gets on his feet, because here he is, at this stage of his life, starting all over again, starting at ground zero. So he was extremely happy and excited, and so we're waiting to be able to help him.
That's awesome. Great job, Shannon. All right, we'll keep rolling. Does anybody know this gentleman's story? I know again, Leslie can read it, but this was one, Leslie had prepared these slides and kind of transferred them from our annual report, so. But Leslie, maybe you can read this one or take this one again?
Yeah, okay. So in the pursuit of a new beginning, that's the gentleman in the photo, Andy's journey with us has been nothing short of inspiring. Facing the challenges of rebuilding his life after a 3.5-year stint in prison, Andy sought assistance with supportive services and career team. With a determination that radiates through every encounter, Andy, a single father to growing teenage sons, now finds himself building not just frames for new homes with a local construction company, but also building a foundation for a brighter future for himself and his family. And here is a quote from Andy himself. Career team has been a blessing in my life. Coming straight from prison after 3.5 years, I had nothing to start life again. They helped me with everything. A new phone, clothes for work, help making a resume, job search, and just gave me a positive outlook on life again, which I just think is, that's one of the most powerful things that we do. All of us do. They call and check on me a couple times a month, and that really helps with my self-esteem. They have been a huge part of my success this time around.
Awesome. All right.
Yay!
That might have been the last. Oh no, we got this one. I was gonna say, I know there's one more at least, but so this one we have a little bit of an update to as well. But Anna, yeah, take this one.
Yes. So let me introduce the Milo family. Milo's family is a Cuban family formed by Estrella, her husband Alfredo, and their 2 sons, David and Yuri. It's not easy name for me, the last dog. As a very foreign family and then a new American family, they came to United States, looking for a better future. They arrived first at Georgia, settled in Atlanta in 2022. And during October of 2023, they contact me, searching for a better job opportunities. So we have many meetings, online meetings through, different social media, and where we gave them not only, all the information about the different job position and different job opportunities that they can find in Bowling Green and in this area, but additionally, we supported and helped them, for example, with building a resume. We created a resume for each member of this family, coaching about, for example, if they have to pass the interview, and of course, apply online for many different positions. So that this is for another situation, but for this family, and in this case, the big problem or the big situation for us is the logistic, because you can imagine to move one person from one city to another, for job. In this case, it's 4 people and at the same family. So we had to move all at the same time, and additionally, ideally at the same place to work, because of course they have a transportation problem that many, new Americans that arrive here. So we try to organize, create different, situations that find the correct place that they can work. And finally, one company here in Bowling Green, Tyson, contact them and schedule, a visit in its facility, and they move all together, went to the interview, went to the visit, and now we can say that they are working all together, the family together. And yesterday I spoke with Estrella. She was so happy, so touched with this, look at their story in social media, and wrote a little word for us, because this work is for all us that is work as a team. And they have the idea, that they have a future, a better future in front of them.
Yeah.
And then Brian, do you care if I share what the comment was on social media?
Yeah, so basically what happened was, because we were doing a lot of this graphic design work and Leslie was for our report, she had made what some of these images you're seeing here. Anna had collected them to tell the story and tell it through pictures too. And Leslie's like, this is good enough to go ahead and make a post about. So she put it on Facebook. And then she had talked to the family and was like, well, have you seen yourself on Facebook? She's like, no. And so she's like, well, here's the link, go look at it. And then she gave feedback, and that's what Leslie's going to read.
Yes, this came through, I think about 6 o'clock or something. I saw it about 6 o'clock last night. Maybe.
And you learned Spanish in time to be able to tell us what it means in English today, right?
Thank goodness for the translation button on Facebook. I would have missed this precious message, and I'll just tell y'all, I started crying last night, and after I read it, and I was just like, I know it's after hours, but I sent it to everybody in Teams just because it's so sweet. So here's the comment from Estrella, who is in the photograph. She's the mom in the story. I thank God for putting an angel in my way, and that's you, Anna. You have been a blessing in my life, my family's, and many families that, like me, left their country in search of new dreams and opportunities. And you, with your work, your dedication, and your immeasurable desires to help, you make possible every hidden dream that lives inside every immigrant. Thank you, and God bless you. Bless your beautiful and human work. And then there's like a quote from Mother Teresa: maybe we can't help everyone, but as far as our hand can touch, thank you, and may God continue to fill you with wisdom and blessing. And I almost cried again. So Anna, you're wonderful, and we love you, and that's a testament to
I would like to say additionally that is on the instrument, but this officially, if South Central didn't open this position to help at all immigrant and all new Americans, definitely I couldn't, make and do all of this service. So it's thank you, John, thank you, Brian, thank you, Leslie, to open this opportunity, and we work as a team with many other, partners.
Yeah. We should probably say, because we've shared it internally, but like we didn't have Anna's position past this month. So when we hired her last March, that's all we could say was, we know we have it until December, and we're going to make a really good case to somebody that it needs to continue. And since the last partner team meeting here in the last month, we were able to make a proposal to the city and the county, and they have agreed not only to fund it for the next year, but next at least year and a half. So we think it'll be fairly permanent after that. So that's been a huge testament. And again, we'll be pouring all kinds of data that's already in the report about her efforts and everything and everybody else's. So yeah, so we get to keep doing this. That's a success as well. So all right. Well, I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to go back to just the transition screen. So all right, let's let some others that maybe didn't submit. We've got time to let everybody go. Like I said, about maybe 3 or 5 minutes each if you have a shout out. I know I see Tammy and Joda, Amy. I know we featured several. Denise. Yeah, okay.
Denise has one, I think.
Denise has her hand up. So go ahead, Miss Denise.
Okay, I didn't submit this, but I did kind of write this up because a big part of my grant that I write with United Way deals with how I work with other agencies. And this particular case showcases career team and my office and, a few other things going on. So I had a single mother, age 33, 2 children, 1 autistic child. She came in for assistance with an electric bill. During our discussion, I found out that she had been working from home for the last 3 years, but she had recently lost her job because she no longer qualified to work from home due to the speed of her internet. It wasn't they couldn't tell her that they were letting her go for that. But basically, that was the reason that she wasn't going to be able to continue working there. So she applied for unemployment. And while she was there, someone there in the office set her up to attend one of your job fairs that was a work from home job fair. And for obvious reasons, she needed to stay work from home with the autistic child. So while she was there, she had at least 2 companies tell her that if she could get her internet speed up, they would hire her in a minute because of the qualifications and the certifications that she already had from the prior job. So as we're discussing all this, one of the biggest differences between my organization and other organizations out there is the ability to fill in some cracks that are not the normal cracks. So as we were talking, she said she had talked to her internet provider and other internet providers that would service her area, but it was just too cost prohibitive for her to be able to afford right now. So I made a call to my boss, and I was able to get approval, and we were able to actually pay for the installation of the fiber net internet so that she would have a good internet connection in order to be able to help herself get back to work. And then I referred her to Community Action for help on the electric bill, which she was able to get. So then I followed up about 6 weeks later, because this is not our normal route of assistance, but I felt like it was the best route to meet the needs of the client. So then I followed up 6 weeks later, and she was back to work with a $4 an hour raise. She now makes $21 an hour working from home. And that was a big collaboration of several different places to be able to get her back where she needed to be. But that's my United Way case history.
I predict you'll get some money from United Way, Denise. Yes, great job. Great coordination.
Thank you.
Yes, wonderful.
Okay, who else? Anyone else remaining?
Hey, can I jump in there?
Yes, go for it.
Awesome. I didn't have time to submit this, but earlier you spoke about being part of Amy's network, right? And so it's been many months now, but we had a Ukrainian individual land in Morgantown. Long story there, but reached out to Amy. Amy was one of the first points of contact. And so then Amy reached out to me. She was like, yeah, interesting backgrounds, interesting work authorization details going on, immigration statuses, because of course this guy is fleeing the war in Ukraine. So we started talking and was able to gather his information. I know Shannon was also involved. Brian, you helped to send out some feelers to people about his background and experience. He was very highly educated, spoke English well, and presents himself very well too. And anyway, we attempted to put in applications at a lot of different places there in Morgantown and abroad, outside of Morgantown, but it kind of just kept not working out. And so he was getting a little bit discouraged, as anyone would. And finally, there was a finance position open up with the city of Bowling Green. And so it's like, hey, let's try this one again. And so we got his information submitted. And I put in a good word with Leda Becker, and she made sure that they took a serious look at his information. And he got the job. And I'll tell you, he actually never expected it. This was one that he was just like, I'm sure I'll give it a shot. But he did not think this one was going to work out, but it did. And I actually had dinner with him last night, and he said that he's the happiest that he's ever been. And his sister just arrived about a month ago, and she's not doesn't speak English as well, but we're gonna figure it out. So
Awesome.
Thank
Wow.
you for sharing that, Heath. He is such a great guy, and he means a lot to us over here at Adult Ed for sure.
that's
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah, and so he still has residency in Butler, right?
He has since moved. Yeah,
Oh, he has since moved. Okay.
he's here in
Okay.
Bowling Green now.
Well, again, the network, Amy's network extends beyond Butler County, so that's what, yeah, exactly.
It definitely does. You can't have a better advocate if you're anywhere near Butler County. She does a great job.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember
Thank
Leda
you.
telling me that he got hired. I was like, well, I was getting emails about that guy. I was like, that's the wrong Becker you guys were including on the emails. I was not able to help, so, yeah. Anyway. All right, anybody else? Okay, well, I know there's always stories. I know it's hard to sometimes articulate or speak on the spot about things, but this is recorded. So, I mean, we'll let you guys, if you need to, pull from this, if you need to share something for your purposes or your organization or whatnot. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, I know. If we have anybody that wants to take the next topic, we're always asking for speakers for that. So we will meet that first Thursday after we all get back from eating sweets and having some time off and staying up late for New Year's there on the 4th. So if anybody wants to go ahead now or get in touch with Frank or I or Leslie in the meantime, or has an idea of somebody we need to reach out to, we do keep these sort of regional in scope, but also sort of, really employment focused or something that's about job assistance programs. So, but I know we've circulated in the last, year and a half through a lot of programs. So, oh, and that should say 24. Yes.
24, yes.
So anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Heath does not work at CASA, and we are not meeting again in 2023. So, all right. And thanks, Heath, for staying on, because I know that was questionable if you'd be able to stay on for the whole meeting. But anybody else have any other final things to say?
I just have an overall comment. To me, sharing these stories, it's just so encouraging. And I wish we could get more of this information out to the public, because it's like there are so many people with negative perceptions of nobody wants to work and nobody, and look at these stories. Look at these stories of people just, doing whatever they can. And it just, it's a huge blessing to me personally to hear about these things. And I just appreciate everything that all of you all are doing. And it's wonderful to be able to hear positive news, especially in today's society. So thank you all very much.
Yes. Very well said. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.